Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and it's Development Hell Podcast. Alex is here, Matt is here, and we're going to be talking about our favorite movie trailers today. And we also have a couple of interesting coming attractions because, it seems like actual big movies might be coming out again. So that's interesting because when was the last time we could say that? But we're going to start off then with our coming attractions. And I know Matt and myself talked about this one on my upcoming episode of Welcome to the Wasteland, but this coming Thursday, March 18th, Zack Snyder's Justice League releases on HBO Max. And I'm interested, I want to pose a specific question for this one instead of like, do you greenlight this or not? Because I think this is an interesting. My question is, do you think this is going to be better than the theatrical cut that actually got released?
I never saw the theatrical cut, so this is going to be interesting either way.
Okay. Alex, did you see the theatrical cut?
I no, I actually didn't. No, I'm sorry.
So then we're going to go back and say, would we spend all this money to give Zack Snyder to make a 4-hour Justice League movie after they already released this movie once? So, Alex, would you give Zack Snyder money to create his vision of this film?
Did they give him more money to redo it?
Well, they spent millions of dollars adding more because, like, basically he only had like maybe 20 minutes of his own footage left. So it's a 4-hour and 2-minute movie. So they definitely spent a lot of money.
Well, from a business perspective, it's funny. So if we're not in a pandemic, my answer is yes. But I'm assuming this stuff got greenlit before the pandemic because this stuff takes so much time.
Yep.
So that would still probably, I don't know, you tell me that'd probably make its money back and then some because biggest superheroes in comic land, probably going to make their money. But now they don't have seats to fill right at this moment. Or maybe I'm wrong because now that the vaccine is out there, more people are kind of maybe going back out to the movies.
I guess to give a little context, one, I believe this is primarily an HBO Max release.
Right. Okay.
It will get some theater release, but like this was supposed to be an HBO Max film. Mm-hmm. So like this is for them to get subscribers.
It was always going to be an HBO Max film.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
yeah.
And then box office wise, the largest weekend I think so far this year was Tom and Jerry made $12 million opening weekend.
Wow. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So, but LA and New York are starting to open up again. So that's a big thing.
That'll make a big difference. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of eyeballs are going to go on to this. So yeah, of course it makes sense. People love these movies. And I'm not a huge fan of the DC universe, post Christopher Nolan. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that it's not good stuff. Was it Man of Steel? I really liked Man of Steel. That goes back to the beginning kind of now of the new
2013.
I was gonna say early 2010s.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, of course I wouldn't say no to this. It makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
How about you, Matt? Would you give Zack Snyder that money to make his own vision of his Justice League film?
I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, this thing is like the first of its kind. There's never been an undo, like, or redo Control Z type of like movie, So
no,
like, I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious, like, if you make a movie and then you get a very, not just like some small focus group, but like a very, very, like, you can't get any more big in terms of like the audience reaction. And then if you get more money to play with, doing it again, adding more, changing more, deleting stuff, moving stuff around, like fixing, like CG, like I don't know, just doing stuff that maybe you could have done or couldn't have done in the past. I'm kind of curious what that looks like. I'm curious if other filmmakers are gonna do that. Slash, I have to imagine other studios are probably looking at this thing and kind of like wondering the same thing of like, is this gonna be like a successful experiment, or is this gonna be uh number two? So like, which means poop.
Right. The difference between that, and you guys, that's right. No, Matt, you didn't see the film. I know you, Shane, you did. I think the question is going to be, because a lot of people didn't like Justice League. The question is going to be, is it going to fill those holes? Or from an art, standpoint, is it going to fix that?
Yeah, I saw Justice League in theaters, and I told Matt this when we were filming my other show was, I thought it was, like, I didn't think it was a bad movie, but like leaving a Justice League movie, the first ever live action Justice League movie, saying,
right,
made me sad. Cause like, come on.
Yes.
If I felt that way leaving an Avengers movie, I would be so disappointed. But the thing is, I didn't really have a connection to these characters. And Batman v Superman was a hot mess to me in the first place. So I'm like, this was the sequel to it. And I'm like, I enjoy Man of Steel more and more each time I watch it, but BVS was not a film that I enjoyed that much. So I'm like, to me, I feel like a lot of people's reaction to this is like, here's a film we all really wanted it. Like, here's an interesting thing. What if, like, in a world where Glass, I was super excited for Glass. Glass really disappointed me, like a lot. And somebody said, just kidding, we're going to hire David Fincher to redo this movie. I'd be like, okay. But here, like, I know it's not an exact comparison, but you're like, we're going to get rid of Joss Whedon and replace him with Zack Snyder. And I'm like, I'm sitting there like, Zack Snyder doesn't make me excited about seeing a movie or excited about the quality of a movie. It's going to look cool. And I'm sure it's going to have as much comic book stuff that they could possibly cram into a 4-hour movie. But does that make it a good film? His track record's not great.
Right. The other backstory to this didn't someone really close to him? Wasn't it? I don't know if it was his brother or his son die during
his daughter.
His daughter died during the production.
But the thing is, they were forcing him out before that happened.
Oh.
So like, Warner Brothers was not liking the movie he was making.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to replace him.
Okay.
But yes, so then he went through a tragic thing that happened in his life. And he took a step back, him and his wife, because Deborah Snyder is the producer on all of his films too. So obviously they went through a lot. And it's really sad. Sure. But like, Warner Brothers were like, we can't sell this movie. This needs to be closer to 2 hours. And he would not cut it down to 2 hours. So they like, goodbye. And brought in a director who would. And like the 2-hour Justice League movie that Joss Whedon made was like Joss Whedon movie. So like, honestly, I think this was HBO Max trying to be like, well, if we could get all these people freaking out about release the Snyder Cut to get subscriptions to our channel and our streaming service by just giving Zack Snyder like a couple, like, I don't know what the exact budget they gave him, but like, let's just say we'll give him $30 million. And if we can get all these people to get to subscribe to HBO Max to watch us, let's do it. So like, I don't know if they have a whole lot of faith in how strong of a film this is going to be. I'm interested to watch it though, all 4 hours and 2 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And this is it. I'm interested too because like, do people count this as a new film? Because basically it's
Sure.
them just releasing a director's cut of a film that was already released. So like, it's an interesting thing. Like, this whole situation's an interesting situation, and I'm for the sake of everybody who's been clamoring for this film, I hope it doesn't turn out to be like the end of Fanboys, where they finally sit there and are about to watch The Phantom Menace, and they're like, but what if it sucks?
Yeah, that became more consistent, I think.
Yeah. Which, that's interesting. Phantom Menace trailer. Speaking of trailers, that blew everybody's minds. I remember seeing that trailer.
The
But
Force Awakens trailer, by the way, too.
yeah. Oh man.
That was a giant. That trailer, at least for me anyway, got a bigger reaction than any Marvel movie. Like maybe even more than Endgame, mostly because Endgame's trailer was like minimal on purpose.
Yeah, they didn't give
like,
away anything.
Yeah, but like wow. Force Awakens, like the music, the docs, like everything was awesome. Yeah, but that's not on my list.
Oh
though,
yeah,
so
Andy Serkis's voice, just like, and the light, and then the Millennium Falcon is just like, oh my god. Because to be fair, people were waiting for a Star Wars sequel since what, 1983.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it was a long time. But anyway, we're not there yet. But so Snyder Cut, interesting thing. Now the rest of these aren't as like complex, but the only other wide release coming out that weekend of like the 18th, 19th is The Courier, which is a Cold War spy thriller starring Benedict Cumberbatch. So with that little, it's about this spy at the height of the Cold War. Benedict Cumberbatch has a mustache. Alex, are you going to greenlight this film?
Well, first of all, I'll be the one to say, you want me to greenlight it or send it back to the developer?
That needs to be recorded immediately.
Well, Matt, we are recording this. So.
Like that needs to be made into a GIF that is going to be used multiple times. And
mine is much more like Claw, yours is much more like death metal.
Yeah.
Development hell right there. So
my hair can't do that, so Alex has to do it for me, unfortunately. I can do the voice though.
So
your voice, my face.
Is that your answer? Or are you gonna greenlight it?
Very ambiguous answer. You know, man, I only gut reaction here, no educational mind, like no thinking, just like send it back, because I saw the trailer and I went, not gonna watch it. It sucks too, because you know what? It could be good, but it just like I could see he's like Cumberbatch is like really trying to like, you could see, but I'm just like, ooh, this isn't in my it's not the type of film that I reach out to. So
which war is this about again?
So this is height of the Cold War, and they're trying to put an end to the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Okay. And that other movie that he made about World War II, that was Imitation Game. That's what that was called.
Yes, where he was Alan it's Turing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wonder if he's gonna like. I'm not gonna watch some. Well, I haven't seen the trailer, so I don't know. But
I liked it better the first time when it was called X-Men First Class.
There we go.
What was running through my head? I was gonna make a joke. They're trying to end the Cuban Missile Crisis, but the X-Men don't pop up at the end of this one.
Already did it. X-Men did it, man.
X-Men did it. Simpsons did it.
Oh yeah, the Simpsons probably did it first, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about these war movies, espionage movies. You know, and those two aren't one and the same. When we chose Paths of Glory to watch for our film last month, I was not excited. I know Matt wasn't excited either. Then I watched it and I went, "Oh shit, this is awesome! Like this is really good." So
and like, not to take away from, because Matt still needs to give his answer, but like, this is directed by Dominic Cook. It's not directed by like Stanley Kubrick. So like, see, like this kind of film, to me, it's only gonna grab my attention is if there's a big cast, like great cast, and a really strong creator behind it. Because like, how many period pieces do we get about war and espionage and stuff like that? There's tons every year.
But he also really likes these movies because he was also in 1917. Like, I feel like, I hope he doesn't, not that he can be typecast, because if you look at like his movie work and his television work, it is very eclectic, which is dope as hell. But then like, I hope it stays eclectic. Like, I hope he continues to be like Daniel Day-Lewis in terms of being a chameleon versus like, all right, like there's a Cumberbatch again. He's angry. Okay, and there's an explosion in the background. Okay, and he has an accent this time. Oh boy, okay. And then I changed wave and I turned TNT off because I'd rather nap. Like, I hope it's not going to be that.
So Matt, what's your answer? Are you going to greenlight this or send it back to development
first? But right now, it's gonna float around in purgatory for a little bit. It's gonna simmer. It's gonna simmer with a couple other movies.
For me,
I can't make up my mind over.
For now, I think this, like, I wouldn't greenlight this necessarily. Like, it didn't really grab me. But the thing is, I have a screening for this week, so I will be watching it through AARP. So that's a thing. They do screenings, movies for adults. Because, like...
Are you 65 and over, Shane?
Did you tell them you were 65 and older?
I went on their website and signed up, and it let me. So I'm like... The robots can't check my age, I guess, but they can check if I'm not a robot. But so I wouldn't greenlight this, but like, it's interesting, Matt, because like your point.
That's wild. I wonder if like in the mail he's gonna get like a screener for DVD and then also like a little package, and it's gonna be like, oh, a COVID vaccine. Oh, okay, cool.
Butterscotch.
I was gonna say words originals, and I'm just like, they come with the movie.
Old people, man, I love making fun of old people.
It's funny when they fall.
There goes some of my viewers.
I'm sorry.
I do not condone the actions of Alex right now. Disclaimer.
Oh, these are just words, just jokes.
These are just words. We are the greatest generation.
To go back to Benedict Cumberbatch, like, he's a great actor. He's committed. Like, if you watch those behind the scenes videos of him doing Smaug, like, dude watched giant lizards at the zoo to mimic how lizards move, and he crawled around in the motion capture suit, like, actually acting out that dragon when he could have easily just been like, I'm going to do a voice. But the thing is, it's like, I hope he doesn't just fall into doing, like, passable period pieces. Like, there's certain films that do grab me. Like, I remember when Bridge of Spies came out, because Spielberg directed, Tom Hanks starring, Coen Brothers written.
Oh shit!
That gets my attention.
Wrote it. Oh, that's crazy.
So like, that's what I meant by like, if there's enough there to grab me, I'm gonna be interested in like a period drama. This one, I don't think really has enough for me personally to grab my attention. Now, we got two more. This is an interesting one, Nobody. And this is a action crime thriller starring Bob Odenkirk himself, Saul Goodman, Jimmy McGill, who is a bystander who intervenes to help a woman being harassed by a group of men and becomes the target of a vengeful drug lord. And this is from the same director as Hardcore Henry. that like completely first person shooter action movie.
Yeah.
So, Alex, are you going to be greenlighting Nobody?
I don't think I'm going to green light it necessarily, just based on what I know. I'm not sure about that. You know, I'm not going to send it back though. I'll have to wait on that.
How about you, Matt?
No, no, I'm not gonna green like that. Mostly because like I saw the trailer and it looks like that movie that had I think it was like Helen Mirren and like Bruce Willis and a bunch of other random people. It
Red?
looks like it looks like a movie where it's
Oh.
like the hook is interesting where it's like, oh, he doesn't look like an action hero. He's like he's older or he's different or his career doesn't look like it's taking this trajectory. Oh wait, I don't know. This doesn't seem I don't all that
Liam
interesting.
Neeson gave everybody hope, Matt.
Yeah, now he's a joke.
I still haven't gotten a chance to see The Marksman, which was his one from 2021 that came out, where it's another Liam Neeson action movie.
Probably a joke.
For this one, for me, I'm going to greenlight it because I am a huge fan of Bob Odenkirk because I love Better Call Saul, and he's a fantastic actor, and I want to see him in more things. And not going to lie, I really enjoyed Hardcore Henry. It was nuts. And like, I'm not going to say that it was a deep movie, but for like a crazy action movie for like an hour and 45 minutes, got my attention. And there's enough here that would make me want to at least watch it. So I'm going to go ahead with it. And also, to defend Red, that's a fun little movie. But to be fair, it is a bunch of middle-aged or older actors trying to be in an action movie. John Malkovich is the best part of that movie, though.
It wasn't good. The sequel wasn't good.
To be fair, I haven't seen the second one because like it got horrendous reviews when it came out. But like the first one has a fun cast. Like Ernest Borgnine was randomly in it.
Really?
Yeah. He was like the records guy at the CIA. And it was just nice seeing him pop up in it. Cause like basically if you're our age, the main thing that you've seen or heard Ernest Borgnine in is being Mermaid Man from SpongeBob.
Oh, really?
Up and away.
Yeah, I know him mostly from Escape from New York, but of course that came out before I was born, before we were all born. But
Escape from New York and The Dirty Dozen.
I never saw that.
Oh, that's a cool action movie.
You sounded like Jay from Clerks 2 with your O. Yes. And no shame. The answer is no.
Alrighty. So our last coming attraction, which I have very strong feelings about this movie, is Godzilla versus Kong, which comes out at the end of the month. So we have the director, Adam Wingard, of The Guest, Your Next, VHS. So like a really strong indie horror film director taking on this big franchise. And if you couldn't get enough, there we go, Godzilla. If you couldn't get enough people like Millie Bobby Brown and everything. So this movie has Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Isa Gonzalez, Julian Dennison, Lance Reddick, Kyle Chandler, Damian Bashir, and more people to take away screen time from our monsters. So I don't know if you guys have been watching the trailers, but honestly, the action looks really cool. And if they spend more than 10% of the movie with the monsters, I'm going to be happy. But Alex, are you greenlighting Godzilla versus Kong?
For my brain and my universe, no. Because I typically don't, not only do I not go out to see these types of movies, I typically just don't, they don't grab me. and that doesn't mean that they're not going to be quality, or this one could, but this would they just usually don't grab me. So I wouldn't greenlight it without someone pulling me in and go, hey, you gotta watch this.
Well, that's my job. That's
Well,
that's
and
why
it's
that's
coming
really
out
why
on
I'm sitting in
HBO
this chair.
Max. So
that is that's what you got to do. You guys both got to be like, hey, get over here.
I will watch it first, and if the monsters are in it for more than 10% of the runtime, I will give this a green light, because that was my biggest issue. Well, actually, no, Matt, you go ahead, and then I'll explain my thoughts on this.
I've been watching Godzilla movies since like I was a little boy. So yeah, I'm gonna watch all this crap. I'm gonna eat it all up. I'm gonna eat up the little Easter eggs for like really super hardcore fans. I'm gonna watch it for the music, for like, because some like monsters have their own individual theme.
Oh, Matt,
I'm gonna
did
watch
you
it.
hear who's doing the
Hear what?
score?
Who's doing the score? Who's doing the score?
Junkie XL.
Okay. Like Wonder Woman. Okay. Respect.
And Mad Max
Respect.
Fury Road.
Dude, yeah, I'm watching the living hell out of this movie. I mean, King of Monsters, the 2014 Godzilla movie,
Yeah.
that was okay. The movie that came after that, the King of Monsters, like that was great. It could have been greater, but it was great. But I mean, it was mostly fun. If this can be like great, but maybe like a little bit more serious, which I'm a little bit afraid, because the music they chose in the trailer makes it seem like it's gonna be like a little too silly. And if it's and yeah, it's about monsters fighting each other, but if it's too silly, then it's just dumb. You know what I mean? Then it's not. Then it's just a regular disaster movie. And I like, that's like Day After Tomorrow. Like there's a bunch of those. I don't want to see that. So I want to see something that's like, if it can be, you're gonna have some kind of like message, like the original Godzilla. If it can have like good effects, like, because sometimes the effects in the movie that just came out, like King of Monsters, like, that wasn't always, the effects weren't 100% great, but it was pretty cool. Like, if it can balance all the stuff that I needed to balance, this would be a fantastic movie, and I will buy the DVD twice, and then I'll gift it to you, Alex, and then I will text you daily until you finish it twice. Dose, yeah, and that's my review.
The only way I'm going to watch that movie is if Godzilla and Kong go into a giant-sized diner, drink coffee and smoke cigarettes together, and talk about what it means to be in a relationship with a female dinosaur or female Kong. And I'm in.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that. But, so, to build off of what Matt said, the first Godzilla film, like, they didn't spend a whole lot of time with Godzilla, but they had compelling human characters with real, like, it was a commentary on America post World War II. Like, Godzilla has been longtime representative of like that big nuclear power, and it was compelling. You have the 1998 Godzilla movie, aka Giant Iguana in New York,
which I like.
The 2014 Godzilla film. My biggest issue with that film, I had no problems with the fact that that Godzilla wasn't in it that much, because when he was, that's one of my favorite finales of any movie. I lost it at the end of that movie. All I have to say is that nuclear breath shot at the end of the film, amazing. But the issue was, you spend most of the movie with an extremely dull and boring character played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, because you kill Bryan Cranston within the first act of the movie. He was a compelling character, and it's Bryan Cranston. But no, we get left with this really boring, bland character. That's besides the point. Then I saw the trailers for King of Monsters, and I'm just like, This looks amazing. Because they spent the whole trailer selling the monsters. And then you watch the movie and they're in 10% of the movie. But wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if all the human characters weren't a bunch of idiots who made really irrational decisions and were not interesting at all. And that's exactly what happened.
Rational decisions.
The whole terrorist group made no sense. No sense. But anyway, but when the monsters were on screen, I was in. So that's why I'm like, either you give me compelling characters and limited monsters, or you ignore the stupid characters and give me more monsters. So I'm going to watch this movie no matter what. And I'm excited for more Godzilla films, but I have very strong feelings about it, if you couldn't tell. So I'm interested to see how this turns out. But what it sounds like is we're going to get mecha something in this movie from all of the like hints and people dissecting the trailers and stuff like that, whether it's Mecha Godzilla or Mecha Ghidorah. Throw them all in there. Just go to town. And yes, I play the hell out of Bear McCreary's score from King of Monsters and the Serge Tankian cover of Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla. Yeah.
Ooh, I need to hear that.
Yes. So when I saw Junkie XL's doing the score for this, I'm like, yes, I'll be
Give
listening
me
to
the
all.
vinyl, please.
Yes. And I'll also be getting Zack Snyder's Justice League soundtrack because Junkie XL got brought back to actually do the score that he was supposed to because Joss Whedon fired him and hired Danny Elfman.
Interesting.
Which it wasn't Danny Elfman's best score, the Joss Whedon Justice League movie, but it was solid. I enjoyed like the main theme. But anyway.
Do you still buy vinyl, Shane?
Yes,
no?
I buy vinyls.
Okay.
Cool. I have both awesome mixes on vinyl from the Guardians movies, which is a nice segue because I almost very close put the Guardians of the Galaxy's first trailer with Hooked on a Feeling in it on my list for today because damn, was that a perfect song to throw in to set the tone for that movie. Blue Swede.
You gotta remember that.
Cheesy 70s music. I love it. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about our main topic today, our movie trailers. And I have a love-hate relationship with movie trailers because some movie trailers give away the whole movie. Just like, why would you do that? Some movie trailers sell you a different movie. And you're like, why the hell would you do that? But it's all about marketing. But some trailers hook you. Hook, line, and sinker, and you're just like, I have to see this movie. I just have to. And some of them just stick with you. And that's the point of our conversation today, talking about those trailers that really stuck with us and that we love. And I figured we can go back to going one at a time, going around. But so we'll each have 3 of them. I know we all have a little bit more than 3 of them. So are there any ones that you want to throw out immediately before we talk about our, like, maybe our 3 main ones?
Yeah. I guess you want me to go first?
Sure, go ahead, Matt.
Okay, I'll throw out some. All right, so I'll go Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is a fantastic trailer because I like the music in it and because it has like the it perfectly has like that quintessential movie trailer, almost opera music. Like it has that in it. When you think of a movie trailer, that's something that like you think of. So like they use that really well. Prisoner of Azkaban, fantastic. The whole damn movie is awesome, but I love it mostly because the way they use that line when he says "Expecto Patronum" at the very end. I remember watching that in the theater. I remember thinking, I'm watching this movie, and that came out I think like 2004, so like super old. I don't know. It's fantastic. Alien has a cool trailer because in that trailer they say, I don't think they say it, but I think a text pops up, something like that. It says the in space they can't hear you scream thing. So that's really awesome. And also the
Amazing
trailer,
tagline.
yeah, so great. And then like the way that the trailer is set up, it kind of like everything is like really, really slow, and you hear like that weird noise.
The,
That
wow,
Yeah,
wow.
but that's the weird
Like,
signal. And at the very end of the trailer, it's just like really quick cuts of like the thing is almost like indecipherable, but like terrifying. Um, and then we have to do three. I guess I'll go Rihanna. I'll go Jaws. Jaws is an awesome trailer, mostly because where when you think of movie trailer, sometimes instead of the music, sometimes you'll think of the narration and the narrator talking about Jaws like a demon. Like you just like God. What do you say? God gave the devil hunger with like mindless. I don't know. He said some wild BS. I don't know what he's talking about. I love it though. And then so that's a good trailer. And then I guess I'll go to Reanimator. That's one of my favorite movies. That would be probably like my top 10 favorite movies of all time. And it's just a funny trailer. Like the whole movie's gory and silly. And Shane, I'm so happy that you saw that movie. Alex, I might have to get you that for Christmas or something, that DVD. But like, yeah, I love that. I love that trailer. I love that movie. Yeah, I love it.
H.P. Lovecraft wrote it, right?
Yeah.
He's the same dude who wrote the movie that Nicolas Cage did within the last year. Is that the same writer? I forget the
oh
name.
yeah, Color Out of Space.
Or Out of Space.
A Lovecraft, yeah, crazy.
Oh, I think
movie.
you'd like it, Matt. Yeah. It was crazy, right? It was insane. And Nicolas Cage, you get to see him be full on Nick Cage. It was good.
So, side note, Jess and I watched Con Air last night. I had never watched Con Air all the way through before. Damn, Nick Cage. Like his hair blowing in the wind after when he gets off that bus for the first time, he's just like winking at the camera at one point. I'm just like, my God, the Cage.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Lovecraft has some crazy ass stories. And Reanimator was a crazy movie. Crazy movie.
Yeah, that trailer. I did watch that trailer, and that trailer, connects with the first one that I'm going to throw out, which I texted you guys because it kind of shouldn't count. And that's the Grindhouse mock movie trailers, one of which got made into a real movie.
Yeah, Machete.
You're right. Machete. Like it actually got made into a real movie. But I had to put that in, I'll do it as an honorable mention just because I was there in, I think near Monmouth University with my old friends. And we were online with a bunch of like guys in biker, clothes and trench coats. And we were like, holy crap. But that was the most rowdy crowd I ever saw a movie with. And they just lost their minds with every single one of those trailers, especially I won't quote it because you wouldn't be able to put this up, but the Thanksgiving trailer, watching that again, I was like, oh my God, it's just insane. All I got to do is say trampoline. That's all I have to say. Like, yeah, watch it or don't watch it.
Where is Machete kills in space? Like I've been waiting for, because like I saw Machete, I saw Machete Kills.
Yeah.
I want to know when we're getting Machete Kills in space because like it goes on like full on Star Wars. His machete is like a laser sword, and they had that whole fake trailer at the end of Machete Kills. And I think they replaced Mel Gibson with like Leonardo DiCaprio or something stupid like that. Cause like basically he becomes Darth Vader and has like this iron mask on kind of thing. It's just like crazy, crazy. The fact that even got made into a movie just shows how ridiculous those trailers were.
Yeah. And Robert Rodriguez just loved the whole Grindhouse thing, whereas Quentin Tarantino was like, oh, I had a failed box office, which, it was, Rodriguez was like, I freaking love this. I want to keep doing this. So no, it's just a lot of fun. It's fun. I don't usually like to watch movies like that, but if you get me, if I'm with a group of friends and I'm having a beer or two, it could be a lot of fun, So
Seems
yeah,
like something you'd watch at an Alamo Draft House.
yeah.
Something
You remember the
crazy.
fake trailers from Tropic Thunder? I know this was super random. You remember the fake trailer from Tropic Thunder?
Oh my God, Devil's Abbey or something with Toby
With Tobey
Maguire,
Maguire.
and
Yeah.
where it's like 5-time Academy Award winning Curse Lazarus, MTV Movie Awards winner of Best Kiss, Tobey Maguire. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. And they're
Forgive me,
like,
Father, for our sin. Yeah.
Do that again.
that got me so bad. So like, I didn't see Tropic Thunder in theaters. I got it on DVD, and when I popped that DVD in for the first time and those trailers played, the Booty Sweat trailer, the spoof of The Nutty Professor, but with Jack Black playing everybody, the farts or whatever it is. Oh my God. The Devil's Abbey though one. So great. But anyway, what other honorable mentions do you have, Alex?
That's all. I think those are all my. Those are all my honorable mentions. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just to throw a couple out, like I mentioned, I almost put Guardians of the Galaxy because like ooga shaka, ooga shaka. When that started playing, I'm just like, hooked on a feeling, and just perfect. Because like the soundtracks in those movies, are just amazing and ridiculous and just fit the tone so well. And that trailer sold it perfectly. The Us trailer with I Got Five on it was creepy as hell. I remember every time that trailer came on, I'm just like, I wanted to see that so bad. And one other honorable mention I have, and this is like, I don't think this would pop up on a whole lot of people's list, but this is a really recent one, was the Ford v Ferrari trailer with the song Highway Tune by Greta Van Fleet in it. Got me so hooked for that movie. I could have watched that trailer over and over again. It's like you trying to tell me you don't want the best man behind that wheel? And just like when Matt Damon like hits that note, and then you just have that like, it's a like, it is a special story for me too, because not gonna lie, listening to that trailer for the first time, I'm like, how do I not know this Led Zeppelin song? I thought it was like some random Led Zeppelin song I had never heard before. And then it took me looking it up to be like, oh, who's Greta Van Fleet? And so like that was my first like jump into Greta Van Fleet. But like Highway Tune's a perfect song for that movie, and it had that energy about it. And him like going down the straightaway at the end of that trailer to like their lead singer doing his best Robert Plant wailing, like perfect. But those are some of my honorable mentions. So I guess, Alex, if you want to go, what's one of your top 3 trailers?
Should I wonder if I should start out with a bang, or if I should start. You know what? I'll start like 3-1.
Okay.
So number 3. I went with the Departed trailer, the original one that I saw, which I think the one I sent you guys. I think that was it. All I remember is being in the movie theater and just seeing those names come across the screen: Jack Nicholson, DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg, Martin Sheen, and it was like, ooh, directed by who? Scorsese. Like, it was just like, oh my God. You like when you see a trailer, like Matt, you said before, and you go, you have to see this movie. It's like this, the cast speaks for itself. I think the music too, the Dropkick Murphys, when that song popped in and you just saw it, it's like, whoa, this is like Irish Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese, or at least has that feel. Had to go see it. And I think I saw it twice in theaters. So yeah.
to build on that a little bit, they have some great trailers for Scorsese movies because like horrible marketing campaign because they released the trailer like a month and a half before they actually released the film, but the trailer for Silence was a great trailer and the music in it was perfect. And but 100% a teaser. That first Irishman teaser where it's just like film from Martin Scorsese, and it's just like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, The Irishman. I heard you paint houses. Yes, yes, I do. And it's just like that's it. That's all they had to do. And I'm like,
Boom.
yep.
When you have the star power. Yeah.
So like The Departed though, that was a great trailer. And it's so funny because it has the trademark "Give Me Shelter" at the beginning of the film, but like shipping up to Boston, like just captures the spirit of that movie, like that Boston spirit so well.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the first 10, 15 minutes of The Departed are kind of like not a trailer, but certainly like a prologue for the rest of the movie. And it just jazzes you up for everything you're about to go through with those characters. So it was just really well edited.
Mm-hmm.
And music was just right for it. And yeah, they produced the shit out of that movie.
Yeah. Now, Matt, what's your first trailer you're going to bring up? That's one of your three.
Sure. So these are in no particular order, but I'll go. I start with Pulp Fiction because wow. All right, so this trailer is awesome because the movie is awesome. And one of the reasons why the movie is awesome is because like it's one of the first times I ever saw a movie outside of maybe like scary movie, I guess, that was like very aware of what it is and what's happened before it. And it's almost kind of like, and not even because of like some kind of like the cinematography only, or because of like the music only. Like you would have to, on some level, I feel like to appreciate a lot of what Pulp Fiction brings to the table, you kind of have to like have seen other stuff, maybe like 80s, 70s. You have to see other stuff to get like, oh, okay, got you. Like there has to be like you don't have to do homework for it, but to appreciate it, like you just have to be able to get certain references that it makes, because it makes the references and it doesn't really spoon feed you on anything. So I really like that. The trailer is also good too, because like straight out of the gate, like it's this beautiful like piano music, and it's talking about like the awards that it's won and the nominations, considerations, and accolades that this movie is kind of like collecting, and then you get like shot, like the screen itself is getting like shot by somebody. Like it's almost like no, like screw that. I'm showing you like this is not that kind of movie. Like this is an art movie, but it's not like, I don't know. Shane, yesterday you were bashing English Patient a lot. This is not English Patient. Like
Arthur should have won.
Yeah, this is Pulp Fiction, and then it's the music, and it's the like I don't know who does a lot of these voice, like the trailer voices, but that guy just listing off the cast, and then like the whole thing is just fantastic. It's fantastic. And when you watch that trailer, you get like, it's a very good representation of what the movie is and what happens in the movie. It doesn't show too much, but yeah, just fantastic. Fantastic trailer. I've watched that trailer sometimes just when I'm bored. Just like, I'll watch the Pulp Fiction trailer. And then I'll just watch it again. And then maybe a third time.
It's when I did watch it again just about an hour ago. This is gonna be fun. When the bullets come through and the music comes on, the surfer music, it's like, this is gonna be fun. Like, and what you say about like them showing the different clips of the parts, like, because you always think about movie we all know this movie really well.
Yeah.
So the scene where they get shot at, and they look down and they look up and they didn't get shot, and then they, the classic shot that they have at the end of the trailer, you think like, oh, maybe they shouldn't give that away. But if you've never seen it before, it doesn't matter, because you don't have the point of reference yet as to what that means, why it's there, when it happens. You don't know that's the scene that actually comes first, but you don't get shown it until later on. So, it's a great movie to have a trailer for.
And also the music, like it switches. I almost forgot. The cool thing about that trailer is that like it goes beautiful music, like, oh, like this is gonna be like a beautiful movie, whatever. Even though like, if it's Tarantino, it's not gonna be like
this won the Palme d'Or.
Yeah.
And Film Festival.
The Cannes Film Festival. So like it's that, and then it's like that other music. I forget what's the name of the song that happens after. It's like get down.
Oh yeah. Cool in the Gang.
Yeah. Right?
Boom boom. Jungle Boogie. And then and I forget what happens and then it's I forget the name of the song because I can't really pronounce it, but I think it's like Amatsu.
Misery.
Yeah, by Dick Dale.
Fantastic the whole damn way through. Love that trailer.
Like, I had never watched that trailer before.
Really?
So I turned that on and I'm like,
oh, damn.
I knew something crazy was going to happen because the way the trailer starts, I'm like, oh, this is such a Tarantino thing. It's like setting this up and I'm like, and then the bullets start going through. I'm like, and then it's like, ha, ha, ha. And just like cutting into that, I'm just like, yes. And then it's like starring John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Tim Roth, and Amanda Plummer, blah, 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 and Bruce Willis at the end.
Right. Yeah. And in an era where I liked Bruce Willis a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. I just watched so two things. I just watched Cosmic Sin, which is another straight to VOD sci-fi action movie starring Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo. Bruce Willis looked like he was asleep. Like, ugh.
I think he's been asleep for about 15 years, man.
Basically, it was Looper, Moonrise Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was good in Glass. You could tell he was happy to be back, but only for like 20 days. Because, like, that's it. Apparently, that's why he's sidelined for most of the movie, is because they didn't have him to film that much because he's so expensive. And
we had like 6 or 7 kids or something,
Yeah.
All right,
somehow.
Stop. I was about to say something else.
The other thing I wanted to bring up about Pulp Fiction. So I'm trying to remember when I saw Pulp Fiction for the first time, but I remember my first movie experience in a theater was Space Jam. Okay. And when Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam are in their black suits with the sunglasses and the guns and Meeserloo starts playing, I'm just like, watching that as an adult now, I'm just like,
yeah.
That's such a great reference.
Yeah, it became so iconic. And, I mean, it feels a little like, when I watched the trailer now, it's like, it's a little silly with the piano intro, but you have to remember at the time, I think coming out of the 80s, there was a lot of gooey stuff that was out there in Hollywood, and the Oscars were kind of an elitist sort of thing. And here comes.
It was, I forget what the other 2 films were, but like it lost Best Picture to Forrest Gump, which like Robert Zemeckis and that Alan Silvestri score. The score for Forrest Gump is beautiful, but it's that kind of score. And then Shawshank was also, and like, like Shawshank is an amazing film.
Love that movie.
But the thing is, Pulp Fiction's a completely different thing, a different tone. Just they weren't ready for it.
They're very, look, the reason we're still talking about, there are very few, artists, filmmakers, movie that turn the car around or take it on a turn, and that's what it did. And that's why we joke around, like, I love Forrest Gump, and I love Tom Hanks in that movie, but the real best picture is Pulp Fiction. Everybody knows it. I mean, that movie changed everything.
And best supporting actor, by the way. I've seen Ed Wood, and that movie is forgettable. That movie is forgettable.
Don't you dare!
Don't
you dare talk crap on Ed Wood.
I will.
You don't dig it. Okay. I still got to see it.
If, like, Martin Landau gives a really fine performance as Bela Lugosi, but I will give you Samuel L. Jackson. Well, also, putting him as the best supporting actor was BS to begin with. Because Pulp Fiction's hard to categorize to begin with. Because, like, technically you have 3 leads, each with their own section of the film, if you really want to put it that way, kind of thing. But anyway, I still would have picked Samuel L. Jackson over Martin Landau. But
easy. And there's a, I forget what award show it was, but he's out there talking with Michael Moore. It's on the behind the scenes of the Pulp Fiction DVD. He's talking with Michael Moore and Tarantino, and Tarantino's in full nerd mode at that point, by the way. And Michael Moore asks, so what do you think you should get for the movie? It's like, best actor in a leading role. Not joking around, like staring straight at him. And he's right. No, he's right. He was amazing. And the other thing that's great about this trailer is that he wasn't that well known at this point. Yeah. And you get a lot of Sam Jackson in this trailer. You get a lot of those moments.
You definitely get a lot more Sam Jackson in this trailer, more than John Travolta, more than Bruce Willis. And Bruce Willis was like the selling point, like star-wise at that point, because he was the biggest star in the movie.
Yeah. I used to love Bruce, because Bruce Willis, he was our John Wayne. Like, he really was, but he was also doing little indie things too on the side that kind of gave him a more definition.
Yeah, but watching that trailer for the first time, I'm just like, it's a perfect trailer. It captures the film, and that's what you need. And sell it. So the first one I'm going to talk about, and this one isn't, it's interesting because 2 of these trailers that I'm going to be talking about are some of the best action films in like the last 20 years. And this first one that I want to bring up, I'm going to slap your hand, Matt, is Mission Impossible Fallout. So first off, this franchise has completely defied expectations, because you figure the longer a series goes on, it gets worse over time. Not this one. It keeps getting better. And besides like the dip with the second one, sorry, John Woo. But like, Brian De Palma made a really solid, strong action flick with Mission Impossible, but like Mission Impossible Fallout, I remember sitting and watching that trailer and Friction, the song coming on, and there's just like that bombast of the song. I'm like, who is this? And then I looked it up later. I'm like, this is Imagine Dragons? It completely took me by surprise, because I'm like, what? So like, it surprised me, but like that song is perfect. It has the energy, and the money shots of the trailer when Henry Cavill reloads his fists and is about to go to town beating the crap out of people. I'm like, terrifying. That guy would terrify me. I would run away from him right now. Because it sets up, obviously you have all the crazy stunts that Tom Cruise does, because what do you go to see Mission Impossible for? What stunt did he almost kill himself doing this time? Mm-hmm. And they actually have the shot of him shattering his ankle, jumping from building to building.
Oh, shit.
In the film, you can see.
Whoa, that's
you can see where it happens, and you see it in the trailer. But crazy stunts, the music's amazing, the cast. It has an underappreciated cast, but Henry Cavill, they do give away a bit too much of the fact that, like, yeah, Henry Cavill kind of turns out to be the main villain of this movie, but like most of the film's not setting him up to be that. It's supposed to be like, surprise. Was I surprised? No. But did it matter? No. Because they show him and Tom Cruise fighting on the top of a mountain, that helicopter chase with like the big guns that Henry Cavill's like shooting out of a helicopter. I'm just like, got me sold. And it was perfectly edited. The music hit all the beats. And I remember seeing Fallout in Dolby Cinema. I felt like I was on a motorcycle driving through Paris with cars zipping by me, sitting in my seat watching that movie during one chase. I'm like, oh my God. But that trailer, I loved it every time it popped up.
Yeah.
And the ending too, right? The ending of that trailer, that was fantastic. Like,
oh, when
like,
they're like slamming on the brakes and it looks like they're going to collide with this van. And
like that act. Watching that in terms of like having like a weird, like a crazy car thing, which, man, this stupid pandemic was. Do you guys remember that scene in the trailer for A Quiet Place 2? When you see what's her name?
Emily Blunt.
Yeah, Emily Blunt. Like she's like driving forward and then she's driving back. Like just like that's really cool. And it doesn't look like BS. Like when effects don't look like BS, and it's in a trailer, you know, because some people say like, oh, like it's in the trailer, so the effects aren't always finished yet. So like, oh, it's okay if it looks bad. That was a good movie.
Side note: Quiet Place 2 got moved up, I think, to May.
Okay.
So they're trying to drop it in theaters when people are starting to crawl back in. I don't know. I think people are being a little too ambitious with everybody getting back to normal. But that's just my opinion. But we'll find out if people actually go back and these movies actually make money. But that shot of that bus almost colliding with them and then the alien arm coming out of the front of the bus as it cuts away, I'm just like, holy crap.
Your movie when like you're in the car with Cruise and it's like, and the other truck is like braking and stopping and kind of like turning, but it's not enough road because the road is way too narrow.
And you said alien arm. I'm sorry, I forget, because I watched it, but I forget that shot. You don't mean extraterrestrial?
Sorry, yeah. To clarify. So I was still talking about Quiet Place.
Oh,
too, with aliens in it. There are no aliens in Mission Impossible Fallout.
I was gonna say, man.
But that was a deleted scene. It was really controversial.
Spielberg took over for the last like quarter of the movie.
Maybe 7 or 8.
Don't.
No, that's the thing.
Crystal Skull.
Mission Impossible is amazing practical effects and grounded action. Please do not do that bullshit.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Do not do that to Mission Impossible.
I need to watch it. Of the movies you chose, I watched this trailer. I was like, whoa, because I'm not a fan of the espionage type stuff. But like I will say, I've heard people say over and over again over the years, you've got to watch some of the later MI films. And this one looks pretty badass.
Watch Ghost Protocol too, because that's Brad Bird.
Yeah.
Brad Bird is dope as hell. Filmmaker. So yeah, watch that too. Also, you get to see Tom Cruise like scale a building, but like he's actually scaling it and he's just vertically just going up and up. I think it's like one of the tallest buildings in the world.
Yep.
I think it's in Dubai or something like that.
Yep. When I watched that in the theater, I was not having a good time.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of heights, and I'm just like, because like he's actually doing it. So you're like actually filming Tom Cruise actually doing this, and you're just like, oh my God, he's gonna die. This is gonna be bad. But anyway, Alex, what's your next trailer?
This is a movie I haven't seen because it's a subject matter that scares the shit out of me. It's a trailer for Rosemary's Baby. So, speaking of fears, but yeah, no, I saw the trailer a few times now because when I went to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, they showed this trailer. It's like a classic trailer.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, oh no, it was really cool. They also showed, I forget the other movie, CC Rider was the name of the character. I don't remember the name of the movie, but they showed that. It's the same movie that they're showing at the drive-in that Brad Pitt lives behind.
Oh,
So it's
well,
whatever trailer that is. They showed that trailer.
I guess it makes sense with Rosemary's Baby because like Roman Polanski wasn't there because he was filming Rosemary's
Right.
Baby.
Right. He was filming Rosemary's Baby. Yeah. Yeah. And they mentioned it in the movie in Once
Yeah.
Upon a Time too, but they showed that trailer and just the way, there's something just horrifying about that last shot when they show the stroller or the crib on the hillside and the music cuts out all of a sudden. It stops you, like it just shakes you up, and you just hear the wind blowing, and then the announcer goes, this autumn or whatever, Rosemary's Baby, and then it says, then there's like a gong and it says, pray for Rosemary's Baby. It's like,
When
I
you
don't
watch
think
the
we
movie,
want to.
I only saw it once, but like there's a scene in the movie. Are you okay if I spoil something?
that's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so like, if you notice how the trailer is like weirdly dreamlike, but there's something definitely off about what's going on, what you're watching. You know what I mean?
Like yeah, it is because of the way you see the old lady through the keyhole and whatnot, and it's like, yeah.
The the scene in which there's a scene where like she may or may not be like having sex with the devil. Actually, not may or may not. She is having sex with the devil. Like
Being
it's a
raped
weird
by the
movie.
devil.
Say what?
Being raped by the devil.
Okay, I mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
I was gonna get into the consensuality of it, but okay, yeah, sure.
Well, it's more horrifying pointing it out that way.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, he should be put up on charges, the devil. But yeah, like I don't know that.
Was the devil played by John Lovitz dressed in like a devil Halloween costume?
So Alex, have you seen This Is the End?
Wow.
So that scene with Jonah Hill is a spoof of Rosemary's Baby. And it's terrifying in Rosemary's Baby.
And it's scaly and it's like weird and
it's like this is really happening.
But it's like there's a lot of close-ups though, and it's just not a. I could see why you wouldn't like the movie, especially because like at the end of the movie, like
Hail Satan.
The good guys don't win at the end of this movie. It's almost kind of like watching what is that movie, Hereditary? It's like, oh, okay, is somebody gonna save everyone? No, no one's gonna get saved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hereditary. I don't think Hereditary would exist without films like Rosemary's Baby. It kind of like that cultish kind of, I guess, like planning for kids is really demented. But yeah, it's an unnerving movie.
I wouldn't expect it to have a happy ending just because it was Vietnam era. It was that, cusp of the late 60s, early 70s.
And it was Roman Polanski, who's not exactly known for happy endings.
I know I saw Chinatown, and that's like, you just can't, you walk out like with your heart's half out of your chest.
It's Chinatown.
It's Chinatown. It's like, oh God. But is that shot of the stroller on the hill, is that in the movie or is that just for the trailer?
That's for the trailer.
That's brilliant. Yep. It's like not a short film, but almost unto itself, like,
Yeah. Now, Matt, what's your next trailer?
I'm gonna go Annihilation, but not the trailer, because the trailer, it doesn't really give too much away, but
It gives more away.
it gives more away. And like how the teaser is, it is so economic in the way that like we want to tell you like a very loose gist to a very like intentionally sometimes incomprehensible plot. That's one. Two, we want to scare you. We definitely want to scare you. And then three, because that movie is like it's bloody and it's angry and it's
One
violent.
particular scene is absolutely terrifying.
That particular scene, like, and Alex, are you okay with spoilers for this one too?
No, I saw Annihilation. I saw.
Oh, you saw it. Okay, dude, what did you think of the bear scene? I just want to break for 2 seconds from trailer talk. What did you think of the bear scene, dude?
I feel like, it's funny because I do remember that scene. It was scary. Is it weird that type of stuff doesn't scare me as much? I don't know why.
That stayed with me like for like a few weeks afterwards.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't have watched it a second time, but yeah, that stayed with me. Why didn't it scare you? That's interesting.
It didn't have as much of an effect. Apparently, babies and dark strollers scare the shit out of me more than Jaws and giant bears.
I think the thing that scares me most about that scene isn't the fact that like it's a bear screaming with a woman's voice that it like absorbed, and you're just like, this is unnerving.
Like, and I've never seen anything like that before. I've never seen like the concept of an animal eating somebody was already awful, but like their dying screams are now almost like a parrot, like a part of the bear. So either maybe her consciousness is sort of still there, which is terrifying, or this bear not just eats you, but like takes over you like a symbiote, which is terrifying. Well, so crazy.
I'm not gonna get too much into the film because like it's still relatively a newer film, and there's a lot to unpack in that movie. But yeah, I rewatched that teaser because I'm like, was this the one where it's like the womp womp womp? And I'm like, no, because that's the full trailer.
Yeah, so that's the full trailer. The teaser is just like you meet the team, and then it's kind of like, and then it's the music that kind of like does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of like scaring you.
I remember watching the full trailer, the first trailer, and that like weird, distorted, like dubstep-y kind of strange synth thing. And I'm just like, this is really unnerving. This is great trailer music. And then it's actually in the movie, and you're like, oh my God. Weird. Because like that's the music from the climax of the film, which goes completely bonkers at that point.
Yeah, super crazy. Super creepy.
That Annihilation's marketing, which Annihilation didn't make money, which it was mysterious, which that's the tricky thing. Because look what it's similar to Blade Runner 2049, mysterious marketing. The thing is, to get most mainstream people into the theater, you need to give away stuff because they want to know what they're getting into. Unlike a lot of cinephiles who are like, honestly, don't tell me anything, which is honestly why I stopped watching trailers.
Yeah, which is a shame because it's part of the experience, right? I mean,
what I look forward to going back to the theater and sitting and watching trailers before a movie.
Right, me too.
Like, I enjoyed that.
Different.
And I'll talk more about that when we wrap up the rest of our trailers, but like my feelings have morphed during COVID when it comes to movie trailers, because like I really haven't watched a whole lot of movie trailers. I go in blind most of the time now, and it's interesting. But so my next trailer, so background, this movie meant so much to me to begin with because Logan was being sold as like the swan song for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And as somebody who, like, Wolverine has impacted me very much, to the point where like I tried to look like Wolverine for most of my college career. And like I love the X-Men. And Hugh Jackman's Wolverine from when I was 9 years old, seeing X-Men for the first time, until 2017. That's 17 years of my life, which was the vast majority of my life at that point, is 2/3 of my life. I'm like, I saw Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And going into this, I'm like, this is going to be so sad. And then they show him old and graying. And when Johnny Cash is hurt, starts playing, and I'm just like, and it's just like, I hurt myself today to see if I could still feel. And he's like you could see the blood coming out when his claws come out, and he's not healing properly. And it just set a tone for what this was going to be. Because like, I love the Old Man Logan comic, but this isn't the Old Man Logan comic, because like that is crazy, like over the top with like he's fighting Hulk's kids and the Red Skull's the president of the United States, and he teams up with Old Man Hawkeye, who's blonde.
I mean, that sort of happened though
Kind of
in real life, right?
Almost.
Okay, Shane, edit that out. Edit that joke out.
But
fuck. Oh.
hey, we never said this was made for kids, so I think we could drop at least one F-bomb. It's okay. But so like the comic book has a lot of Marvel world building in it. It's like a completely dystopian place. This film is like on the cusp. It's like Mad Max, the first one, kind of dystopia, where there's still semblances of society, but things are a little outlawish kind of thing, and you're on the run. And that trailer sets up like him finding this girl, and that shot of Logan in a bloody tank top with a shovel holding that girl's hand over what obviously was somebody's grave. Like that whole trailer was emotional gut shot. And I'm just like, I'm going to have some feels watching this movie. And I sure did, because it's one of very few films I've actually cried during in a theater, was watching the end of Logan. Yeah. And that trailer set the tone just perfectly. And that's why I think it was a perfect teaser trailer for when that came out. I'm like, yep, this is going to be something else.
Yeah, I mean, once again, Johnny Cash. I mean, I was taking notes, and I just put Johnny Cash. I mean, just having that song with Hugh Jackman giving that performance and those shots is just, that's all you needed. If you're an X-Men fan, Wolverine fan, that's all you needed. And the Johnny Cash version of her was just perfect. Perfect for that character. Maybe at any era, but especially this era of that character. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny. I don't love the movie because I guess I don't like the way a lot of superhero movies, a lot of movies, not just superhero movies. Their third acts don't always work for me, but
no.
or the villain or the villain doesn't work for me.
Well, and to be fair, Logan doesn't have the strongest villains.
Yeah,
because like Richard E. Grant's like, wah, like I'm an evil scientist, and Boyd Holbrook is like doing his best like Val Kilmer impression from Tombstone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
He didn't buy. I didn't mind Tim. Didn't mind Tim, but but you know what? That's not what this is about, right? Like this is just like Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, You know, they were amazing. I mean, I thought Hugh Jackman should have been nominated for an Oscar.
I thought Patrick Stewart should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor too.
Yeah, at least nominate. I understand not giving it to him, but like at least nominate them. You know,
For my awards that I do every year, the Wasteland Reviewer Awards, you know, both of them won Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor for that year because
They get Golden Globe or no? Not even that. Okay.
no,
they were great.
yeah, because like I know with the supporting categories at the Golden Globe, it's still only one category, so it's still only 5 people, and then they should have. But the fact that that one, like that got consideration for its screenplay was nuts. Crazy. But yeah, so that's Logan.
It reminded me of when is it The Incredibles? It was one of the few Pixar movies that got Best Original Screenplay nomination.
Did it?
I think so. Like, it was one of those, like when I saw Logan got nominated, I was like, okay.
I don't know about.
I didn't expect this to happen, but okay.
But there's only been 3 animated films to be nominated for Best Picture. And it was Beauty and the Beast, which lost to Silence of the Lambs. What an interesting competition that was in 1991.
Yikes.
Up got nominated for Best Picture, and Toy Story 3 got nominated for Best Picture. So very interesting. Oh my God, what do you have there, Alex?
So I have my collection of most of the first season on VHS of the X-Men animated series.
Dude, wait, let me show. Oh crap.
So Paul obviously pulled this one out, Cold Vengeance, Volume 5. What's so cool about these is they have the little comic strip part on the back there, you know, and every single one of them has that. And I just brought, because, you know, I'm about to talk about X-Men myself very soon.
Yep.
I mean, my God, these things, and this is, you know, talk about physical media or the like, when you grow up with this stuff, you really appreciate, look how cool these freaking things were.
Oh, the Juggernaut.
You know, these were so cool. Nowadays it seems silly to have, look at all that. Like you have
that one, Days of Future Past.
Yep.
The one that you have with the Sentinels on it.
Right here. Well, okay, this is perfect. Days of Future Past Part 1 and Days of Future Past Part 2.
And perfect segue, because it's Alex's turn to talk about his.
Dude, you should look up the cast, the voice acting cast, except for I think the guy that voiced Cyclops has passed away, but everyone else last year they came together to do, you know how like a bunch of random like shows are having like cast reunions? Yeah, they came together, they had a conversation about stuff like that. Like apparently like a couple of cast members, like, well, this is irrelevant, but a couple of them like hooked up in real life apparently for whatever reason.
Romantic?
For no reason, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
They were kind of like hooked up, like not as dating.
Never
mind. Yeah, they were kind of honest. They were honest in their podcast. It was kind of random. But dude, all right, wait. So, my first ever PG-13 movie. Dope as hell.
I had that VHS too.
And I was like, okay, I hope this movie is gonna be awesome. It turned out to be awesome. And then I don't even know if you can really see it, but it's
Yes! Pizza Hut.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my God.
That's right, man. Pizza Hut. Hell yeah. Is it Pizza Hut, right?
I think I can't remember where I don't know. I think someone gave me for a gift.
Okay.
I'm looking over at my movies over here, and X2 X-Men United was one of my first DVDs.
Yeah. It was still pretty early. It was still fairly early on.
Yeah.
You know, and there was all the special features too on those DVDs, because the late 90s DVDs, stuff like 98, 99, it was like Laserdisc. You were like reading behind the scenes features, which is fine, but still it was different. This was a pizza. I'm glad you brought that out, because this was actually Pizza Hut was giving out Volume 1 or Volume 2 for free when you'd go and order food at a Pizza Hut. So this is
Oh
very
wow, okay.
Pizza Hut was the shit
this
growing
was,
up.
this was mid 90s, you know, this was growing up in the 90s, you know.
Yeah,
So
Dang.
this came out in 2003, X2, and then this guy, he came out in 1993.
okay, early now, yeah, early mid 90s.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, no, I mean, I picked the Days of Future Past trailer when you came up with this idea, Shane. I didn't even have to think. Like that trailer. I was just bawling, well, not bawling, but crying, you know. And I wrote a song inspired by the last line, "We need you to hope again." You know, it's just like, oh, it's one of those things. It's
I
like,
just got goosebumps.
grabs you by the shirt and pulls you in. Yeah, and so I'll send you guys that song. I sing very off key in that. It was a long time ago, but I'll send it. My friend, my old buddy, recorded it for me, and like it just inspired me so much because you have such a connection to these characters, and seeing in the, you know, it's funny because when James McAvoy says, you know, I don't want your pain, I don't want your future, I think he says that to Wolverine in the film.
Yeah.
But in the trailer, it looks like he's saying it to himself.
Yeah.
And then for Patrick Stewart to kind of be like trying to guide him from the future like that. Yeah, just goosebumps, you know?
So that, and like, that's my favorite X-Men film. Like,
yeah,
I remember going to Cinemark, and it was a midnight premiere. It was before they started doing like, oh, you could go to 7 o'clock the night before. So like I stayed up for this, and I am not a night person. Like I went at midnight, sitting in that theater when they started, and you got like this Terminator style opening of like this dystopian future and the Sentinels and everything, and they show in the dirt that X. And when that theme song from the first two X-Men films kicked on, because they didn't use it for X-Men The Last Stand, and then of course First Class rebooted it, prequel, whatever. It's X-Men movies are confusing. And this, when that music started playing over the credits,
yeah,
and I'm just like, oh my God. It brought everything back from those first two X-Men films. And that trailer, I remember seeing all of them in the future. Because like it's important to think back to after Last Stand, where they killed Professor X. They like Magneto lost his powers, and I know they had the teases and the film about stuff, whatever. And basically you're just like, what did they do to X-Men? And when they showed that, when that trailer came on and you saw Wolverine and Storm, Magneto, Professor X, and you saw Bishop and Blink for the first time, and the Sentinels, and which they were interesting choices, like the futuristic Sentinels, and that whole entire trailer, and like Magneto lifting RFK Stadium, like insane. And it's just like, damn, I need this movie right now.
yeah, that was a special movie event for anybody who grew up with these characters. And yeah, no, it was just it's my favorite X-Men movie too. I really like that, you know, most of the X-Men movies. This is the one that this was kind of a grand slam for me, you know. And I think that they did the best job they could have of kind of marrying what you saw in comics, animated series, with the world that they had kind of already put together in cinema. I thought they did the best job that they could of trying to put that together. And man, you know, once again, star power like James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, and Hugh Jackman. It's like, what? Like it's just mind blowing, you know. And of course, once again, the music, dude. Like the music in this trailer, just it's like you can just feel those like violin chords in your heart. You know, it's just really
so great. Matt, what is your last trailer?
I'm gonna go with the Psycho trailer, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, which, like, so I feel like if anybody's watching this video and they go like, well, I don't really like old movies, it's like, wait, don't skip my part. Hey, what the hell are you skipping my part for? Number one, don't do that. That's number one. Number two, like, never do that. Number two, this movie is very interesting because, so kind of like Paths of Glory, it either defies what was happening like in that time period in terms of like film, or it'll definitely just defy what you think going into it. Like Alfred Hitchcock's movies are violent and they are angry, and it's not violence that is like always suggested. Sometimes it's violence you see on the screen, and sometimes it's scary, and sometimes it's like, whoa. But the reason I like this trailer is because kind of like how Spider-Man 2 has like the trailer music, and then I forget the other trailer, some other trailers have like the trailer narration. This movie,
In a World.
Yeah, like it exactly, yeah. Like this movie decided, even before all of anything that I listed, this movie decided, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna so much not show you anything at all that we're going to give you a tour, basically, of a little of some of the major parts of the set of the film, and then we're gonna end the movie with the very real, like, not threat, but basically like this adamant thing that like the director said, yeah, I don't want you coming late to my movie. If you come too late to the movie, you might F up the spoiler. So yeah, you're not doing that.
yeah.
I don't even know what would happen if, like, it definitely couldn't even happen, but I don't even know what would happen if like a trailer today had somebody like put that on there. You're not coming in to see my movie if you come in late.
It's a lot of influence.
Timely to your movies.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And it's like a 6-minute trailer. It's like a whole, it is the longest trailer in my list of trailers, and it shows, only thing it really has is like the scream. Also, and that's a cool part of the trailer too, because it's like, it's like weird because, you know, because he's talking about murder, but the music in the background is like music that you would skip to in the park until the very end, when you like, he opens up the shower curtain and you see somebody like screaming because like, well, they're about to die. Fantastic trailer, dope as hell movie. Like, and it's black and white. What? So yeah. Okay, I'll skip everybody else's part. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
So it is a very long trailer. Still not longer than a Fast and Furious trailer.
There we go. Hey, I want Machete and Fast and Furious to team up.
Why not?
I don't know what was going on with
They're
that.
both going to
that
space,
Men in
aren't
Black,
they?
it's 21 Jump Street thing, but I want Machete and Fast and Furious
They're
to
both
cross
going
over.
to space.
So
what?
yeah, because can Machete get a like tag along when Fast and Furious goes to space? Because they keep making jokes about that for the last one.
Vin Diesel's not going to be able to drive as fast in space.
It's going to be like Fast and Furious, that one scene in Ad Astra on the moon where they're having like a shuttle chase.
Like the one action scene in that movie. The one,
yeah,
the
one action scene.
Let's give him something, you know.
Yeah, we can't have this be completely contemplative science fiction film, but.
That's
like that Psycho trailer is very interesting. It's Hitchcock Presents. Okay. Literally, here you go.
I watched the trailer. You sent the link. So I'll start from the end. I went like that when he opened the shower curtain, because I forget that music, and she's just standing there like, what a way to sell just that moment of the movie. So the rest of the time I'm watching this trailer, I'm like, was Alfred Hitchcock British, or did he just go to like a high society somewhere in like
He is British.
Texas? I can't tell if he's got a British accent or he's got a the entire time I'm like,
It's like he transcends accents. It's like Sean Connery.
yeah,
Because like
part British, part Hitchcock.
it's very much and like it's very slow, and like some people just have a very particular way of talking.
Yeah, that's all I could think of. I was like, all right.
Sean Connery is Scottish but had a lisp. That's why his voice sounded like that.
Extra sexy,
Red October.
So that was my experience of the Psycho.
Yeah, so to be honest, that trailer, like, I would not have wanted to sit through that long of a trailer before a movie and be like, what's this selling me? But then that end though, got you.
Yeah.
Got you good.
Makes you think, right? Like, and that point, I remember when he says, don't walk in the middle. Like, it was like a real, like, tell me what to do. Like, it's like, people used to do that all the time. People probably still get away with it, but people don't go to the movies as much anymore. We used to just go in, like, sit down and watch like 15 minutes of, I don't know, the Matrix movie or something like that. And, he's like, don't do that, because you're gonna screw it up. You're gonna screw it up. So I do
mess with my movie.
Yeah, I do respect this kind of author being like, there's one way to see this movie. It's from beginning to end. And so it's different.
Yeah. So quick side note, I saw this thing. It was called Movie Fan Checklist. It was like 20 things to prove you're like a real movie fan. I was very offended because one of them was sneak into a movie.
Because you are a movie fan if you sneak into a movie.
Yes. Which then insinuates if you refuse to sneak into a movie, then you're not a real movie fan. So I'm offended. So I literally had a moment where, like, I'll double feature movies. I will walk back out to the lobby at AMC and have them scan my next ticket. One time I did that. The stupid kid at AMC is like, why didn't you just walk into the next movie? I wanted to report him. It's like, how dare you?
I wanted to report him.
You are a representative of AMC.
Shane, did you pull up Captain America's shield and just go?
I wish.
No, I wanted to. Let me see your manager.
Yeah.
No, Shane, don't do the Karen. No.
This is for the love of movies, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm
not advocating for sneaking into a movie. I'm not advocating for that. But the spontaneity, here's why that was on the list. And it shouldn't be on the list, but there's a spontaneity and an excitement of just doing that. Imagine being on a date and you're like, hey, it's that new, like, oh, let's check it out. You go in for 10 minutes and then you go, oh, that was pretty cool. We have to see that next week. And then you leave. But if you stay for the whole movie, that's kind of a shitty thing to do.
I'm not judging you. I know other people do it, but
I haven't. If I did it, I haven't done it in like.
Mute your mic. What are you about to say?
I haven't done it. What are they gonna do? Arrest me for something I did when this thing came out? I mean, come on, it was like the late '90s or something.
There's statute of limitations on these things.
You have to get Bill Clinton to like sign, a record. I mean, I was like, he doesn't care.
A friend of mine has a VHS of Jingle All the Way, that for Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that he got from a Goodwill. But it's funny because it's I guess like in the 90s or whatever year, like decade that movie came out, it has like a I guess like when they used to do screeners, I guess they would send
It has the FBI
VHSs.
warning.
No, it says like on the jacket itself, it says something like if you please return to production company if you find this only meant for like
Screening purposes.
yeah, like there's like screen purposes or something like that. This is interesting because like yeah. Yeah, so
So
I don't think anybody cares that my friend is not going to send back the VHS.
I have
Yeah, no,
one
Alex,
thing
I
to
think you'd be
say
okay.
before I bring up my last trailer, but my dad bought me Small Soldiers on VHS at a flea market, and I popped it in, and it had the FBI warning, like ticker tape thing on the bottom because it was a counterfeit, like it was a legally produced VHS of it, and I'm just like, what? So this was like back in the late 90s. Because like, do you both remember Small Soldiers?
A little bit, yeah.
I think it's on Netflix, so they didn't take it off.
Is it?
Well, the one had like the blonde crew cut, right? Like the blonde.
Yeah. Because fun fact, the Commando Elite, besides Tommy Lee Jones and Bruce Dern, were all voiced by actors from the Dirty Dozen.
Oh yeah.
Because it was George Kennedy or Ernest Borgnine, Jim Brown. Fun facts for all of you. And Spinal Tap voiced a bunch of the Gorgonites.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah, so all fun facts. But my final trailer. So
Sorry. I'm sorry.
those two for Mad Max Fury Road. So years waiting for this movie. Hearing all the rumors, started up again. Oh my God, they actually filmed it. Saw set photos of this dark, grim, like out in the middle of the desert, like actiony, because like that's what it looks like set photos kinds of things. And I'm like, this is going to be intense and crazy. But how could I even imagine when that first trailer dropped for Fury Road and it was a symphony of madness? Like the colors, the action, the characters, dude wearing a face with a giant guitar shooting flames out of it, and the Immortan Joe with like horse teeth, like face mask, and just like insanity. And it had this like big operatic music, and just like, what is this? I lost it when I first watched that trailer because I'm like, the Mad Max films aren't very colorful. Like the original ones, it's like a bleak dystopian future. But then, since then, George Miller made Happy Feet. And he probably was like, what would happen if I made all these colors in Mad Max? Like the craziest world ever created. And that trailer, I had to watched it like 20 times the first day that came out because I couldn't stop watching it. I'm like, I am so excited. And when they showed that sandstorm, I'm like, just in awe, because the action sequences in the first three Mad Max films are very like grounded in the sense that it's just like cars chasing each other, not grounded because everybody has like football pads and leather and S&M shit on and crazy
S&M.
but like
yesterday. Just joking.
So I can't even I'm even having trouble like articulating right now what I was feeling when I watched that trailer. I'm like, this is going to be real. Like they actually made it. They made Fury Road, and it's complete insanity. And then you watch it and it's literally 2 hours of complete insanity. And like those trailers sold this film perfectly. Because it's like they set up and it was like you have like, my world is fire and blood,
I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you were gonna do it. I didn't even need to ask. I didn't even need to ask.
It's so funny. Shane, I heard your voice in my head saying that line. Your voice is a little deeper than Tom Hardy's. And so I was like, oh, I thought it was more like muffled and deeper. It's like, oh, that was Shane's voice. Oh,
It's like when that trailer kicks on, right? It's like, like it has like the sounds and like the WB logo and the Village Roadshow logo, and like just how they introduce Max and just the lunacy. It's this giant like orchestral music, and then like the trailers after it started introducing like the Junkie XL music, and I'm like, but that first teaser trailer just sets it up. I loved all the marketing for it. Like the second trailer gave away more of the story because that teaser didn't give away like anything about, and it was just like, what a day, what a lovely day, and that's just like just perfect.
I think Watch Mojo put, I think, the sandstorm scene on its list of like top greatest 21st, top greatest recent movie scenes of all, like something like that. Like look it up, but yeah,
they released a video and it like has the portals scene from Endgame, and like, but like that sandstorm, that the moment that car gets lifted up and like the music just turns like the somber, just like, oh, and just like flying up there, and then the lightning and just like explodes in the flames, and you're just like, my God, what is this?
Shane, do you remember that girl that I was dating at the time? What her reaction in the middle of the movie was? Remember I told you
was
what
that?
she said?
Yeah, exactly that. Except mine's in like,
she turns to me, she's like, what am I watching?
And when I said that, I'm like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Tone changes everything.
And immediately I thought, oh wait, okay, so this is not a date movie. Got you. Okay, I was wrong.
It is for the right person.
There we go.
Crap. I know what the worst date movie is, but that's a story for
Gone Girl?
No.
Yikes.
Well, that's not a very good one. That's a story for a different time. Hey, I just found our next topic: worst date movies. Okay, that is that.
Wait, can we shift? Like, I like that it's the general idea because I had something pop in my head. Because, like, can we do like most interesting theater experiences? Because, like, it could be a bad date or a movie you totally should not have taken your mother to go see.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
Dude, I took my mom to see Logan. It was me, my two brothers, and my mom.
My mom would have enjoyed it a lot.
She like turns to me and she's like, too bloody. That's what she said. She says, too bloody, too bloody.
It walked out.
No, but she just kind of just like, what does she do? I think she forced herself to go to sleep or something like that. She just like, and then we had to like poke her like when the credit. Yeah, she was like, too bloody, too bloody. So my mom
could just turn off. She's like, not for me. All right.
she did not like Logan at all. I forgot to tell you that, Shane.
Like, I definitely want to have our next video, like episode like this, when it's just the three of us talking about a topic, to be interesting theater experiences, because Killing of a Sacred Deer. Gonna leave it at that.
Oh man, I don't.
That's a weird movie.
Sure is. Terrible movie to take your mother to see.
Oh, yikes!
Yeah, I never saw. Who's in that?
Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Nicole Kidman does something in the movie that I won't spoil because I want to tell the whole story.
Good film, though. I mean, you recommend?
I'm a huge fan of the Yorgos Lanthimos. It's a great film, just not something you want to watch with your mother.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with a, single mom. My dad was in New York, so my brother and I saw a lot of movies that we shouldn't have seen. when we were that age, or with our mom. So mine trumps everything that you guys just said. So yeah,
We're gonna have a fun time next time.
I'm not talking about that though. But
I'm thinking to myself, I do think that's a fun idea. We'll talk about more details later. But I think the important thing to wrap up trailers, I haven't watched a whole lot of trailers because there's been a lot of trailers that give away too much. There's a lot of trailers that sell a different movie. And then you set these expectations up for yourself. And I didn't used to watch a whole lot of trailers on YouTube or anything because I went to the theater so much. Why did I need to watch them? I saw them like 10 times in the theater. But since I haven't been going to the movies, like there's little moments where it's like I saw the favorite trailer so much that whoever I went with, the cadence of the strings playing in the trailer, I would go like every time the strings would hit because I knew the tempo of the trailer so much because I saw it so many times. But that happens when you go to the movies like 5-6 times a week. You see the same trailers over and over again. So I didn't used to watch a whole lot online. There's certain trailers, like if like an Avengers trailer drop, I'm like, I'm watching that trailer. But most trailers I waited to see in a theater. But when I stopped going to the theater, I'm like, I don't really see trailers anymore. And I made the conscious decision to not seek them out. And it's made a very interesting experience watching films during COVID because I go in blind most of the time without having watched a trailer. And it's an interesting, fresh experience because I know trailers that have set up a completely different movie. And if you haven't seen movie trailers, A Love Story from director John Campea, go check that out, all of you out there. But talking about like, there's films like Sweeney Todd from Tim Burton. They didn't play it off in the trailer. It was a musical. People didn't know it was a musical. And then they showed up and it was a musical. Did the same thing with Into the Woods. They didn't play any of the singing parts in the trailers.
Right.
And these are Sondheim musicals. These are dark, disturbing musicals. And like completely misrepresented.
If you don't like music, 'cause I'm not big on musicals, I don't hate them. Actually, they've grown on me, but that would be upsetting to me.
Yeah, if you showed up and you're like, shit, I didn't sign up for a musical today. And it's interesting. And they can sell the wrong tone.
Yeah.
They could try to sell you Guardians of the Galaxy with Suicide Squad, and wasn't necessarily it. They could play all that Bohemian Rhapsody.
I literally just about to say that Suicide Squad has an awesome teaser, not a great movie, awesome teaser trailer. Not the Bohemian Rhapsody one, but the one before it, when you get to hear Joker for the first time. That was released in Comic-Con. That one. Fantastic trailer.
So, but it's an interesting thing. And I look forward to going back to the theaters and seeing trailers in the theater again. So
definitely. And let me just say real quick, I need to watch Mad Max Fury Road with you or both of you on a big screen somehow, some way again, because when I see it on TV, I can't get into it. I just can't pull myself. I need to see it again. I saw it once on a big screen. It's a much different experience.
I was out of breath and my insides were shaking in the theater because it's that intense of a movie. And I'm just like, I thought I had a workout.
It's like going to a rock concert, really. And you talked about marketing. There's so much time and attention that are put into these projects, to these films, and there's so much time, money, and attention, and more money put into the marketing of these movies. And it's really, really important, and it's because it really is. That's why these types of movies become events. They're not just like things that sit on your shelf. They're things that happened. It's a bigger deal. And then they sit on your shelf after that. And so I think that's super important to keep in mind. The trailer and the poster. Jaws, for example. I'm actually not a big fan of that trailer. You know what scares me more than that trailer? Just the poster of the shark, which is actually in the trailer. They actually have the poster at the end. That, like, whoever drew that, that's scarier than the trailer.
And
The
that
teeth
has
look like
been,
knives. All the teeth look like they're jagged, like it's very like you look at it, it's like that's terrifying.
and they've
And then
still
you obviously see like the woman on the top who's for some reason topless, like she's not gonna make it.
they stole that poster for so many other movies. Tremors does the same exact thing with the graboid at the bottom.
Graboid.
Yes, graboid. Trust me,
So imitated.
I know a lot about Tremors.
No, no.
Let's just put it that way. I've seen all of them, including Shrieker Island that came out last year.
They're still making Tremors movies?
I think this might be the last one.
Damn, I hope so. Damn. Was it good?
This is the
last one?
7th.
Was it good?
No. Did I have fun watching it? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, because I was kind of a introvert in college. I'm thinking like, oh, I know what I'll do for spring weekend. I'll get really drunk and watch all 7 Tremors.
The first 2 Tremors movies are really, really fun, well made, like B monster movies. And then like they just progressively just got like tackier and tackier as they went on. But like I love that first Tremors movie so much.
Kevin Bacon should just come out with a guitar, go like destroy the.
So fun fact,
Fire comes off of it, like
Oh, he plays. He's in a rock band, so that would be.
his character's daughter is in the most recent one.
Oh, okay.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Jamie Kennedy's in 2 of them. He plays Burt Gummer's son. And I'm just like, and John Heater, aka Napoleon Dynamite, was in the most recent one.
Shane, you talk about the Tremors movie like it's like a club that you joined like 20 years ago and then you just can't get out.
I've been watching Tremors movies since I was a kid.
You talk about Tremors the way some people talk about Scientology,
I do not believe graboids exist. I do not worship at the altar of graboids. So there's no worries here.
I do not worship.
And on that note,
graboids. Oh wait, can I say one random thing? The Boy. I recommend anybody that hasn't played this game. God of War for the PS4. Fantastic game. The Boy is the same boy that's in the movie Mid-90s, directed by Jonah Hill and written by Jonah Hill, which is also the same boy from your Yorgos Lanthimos film, Killing of a Sacred Deer. Same boy.
Same character?
Same boy. Same actor.
Same actor too? Oh, same actor.
Yeah, all three. All three, yeah.
You blew Alex's mind for a second because you're like,
I was like,
somehow this kid gets locked in a video game.
Yeah. I'm like, did Jonah Hill make a deal with God of War? I'm like, wow, he's really stretching there, man. He went from suburban 90s to, I was like, okay, same character. Yeah, that poor kid, that movie, not a great movie.
What, mid-90s?
I didn't think it was great.
Okay.
I'm not saying it was bad. I just felt like Jonah Hill needed, I don't know, he's missing something in his storytelling. There's a lack of flow there for me. It just felt like obviously the kid was put through hell in that movie. But I wasn't big on the movie. But for an indie film, yeah, we could talk about that another time. But I
didn't love it either.
You made me think about it earlier, and I'm not sure why, but someone said something that made me think about mid-90s. It wasn't me. It was somebody else. Maybe it was me. But yeah.
This was an interesting ride. So many lovely tangents today. But this was a fun time, and I hope all of you out there enjoyed it as we went down memory lane with all of our favorite trailers and probably are going to get some very angry, well, I'll probably get angry messages about the Justice League movie, but that's okay. But we appreciate all of you tuning in and supporting Development Hell Podcasts. And Alex, Matt, and Shane, thank you all always for tuning in and supporting the Development Hell Podcast.
Bye-bye.